Hi, it's Martin Gibbons and welcome to the People Maps Partner Programme. And this video really is, I suppose what it says here on the tin, it's how to make money as a personality profiling specialist. So by now you've completed the personality profiling specialist course. Hopefully you've enjoyed that and maybe you want to take it to the next level. I'm going to have to go pretty quick because we've got a lot of stuff to cover in this video and I don't want to take any longer or take up any more of your time than is absolutely necessary. So the first thing I want to do is congratulate you on actually completing the Personality Profiling Specialist Level 1 course. It's a bit of a mouthful that, but you did really well. People worked pretty hard on this, I have to say. The answers were really good. A lot of intuition that's definitely showed its way. And I say people were working at nights, working late, working over the weekend, and I have to applaud you for that. So really do appreciate that you've put the time and energy in. You should be pretty proud of your efforts, to be honest. So from recruiting to motivation to team building and everything in between, that's pretty much what we covered in the level 1. And I think even though we did a lot of work there, you'll realise that we obviously just, it was an introduction. It was just dealing with the most fundamental issues and case studies. Now, most of the problems that we encountered are people problems. That's essentially the sort of broad category that they fall into. It's not a technical issue, it's a human stuff. Now, humans are complex, but when you stick two or more humans together, then what we've certainly learned on that programme is that it gets really complex. So in the Profiling Specialist course, of course, we looked at some of those problems. Not all of them, just some of them to some degree. We went through the case studies together and we thought about our own experiences, because your own experience of the world is extremely valuable, especially when we're dealing with human issues and personal psychology. And of course, we took a really close look at the psychology that was actually at play in each of those scenarios. And I say the length of the notes that some people left and the thinking that they did out loud in the notes, and I read most of them. I have to admit, I do look at the notes because I need to understand if what I'm saying is making sense. But I have to say your notes were pretty extensive in the main, and some real gems amongst that lot. So again, well done through all of that. By now, having done that, you might be wondering, okay, how do you take this forward to the next level? Now, for some of you, it will absolutely be, you'll be using it within your own organisations. I know I had a whole bunch of line managers who were on that programme and using the course, who will use it for themselves, with their own people in their own organisations, and that's fantastic. If we can make one small change in one environment, it's really worth all the effort. So if that's your next level, if that's what you're doing, then you do it with my blessing. And if I can help you at all in that, just let me know. We really are here to help. And if you're a manager, then you can really make some big changes within the people and the lives of the people that you interact with on a daily basis. Okay, however, some of you will be looking to actually expand your existing consultancy. So I know there was a whole bunch of coaches and consultants that were on the programme, or maybe you're just looking at breaking into consultancy for the first time. Maybe you're looking to start your own work for yourself. You've probably been thinking about that for a while. I'm sure it's not a new idea. And if you have, then this is the video you really should be watching. In this video, we're really going to explore that whole, okay, how do you expand an existing consultancy? How do you make money using what you've learned? Or how do you get into this type of consultancy? But fundamentally, no matter where you're coming at it from, how do you put your newfound knowledge into work for you? How do you make money? And I know that sounds vulgar and crude, but at the end of the day, that's possibly really what we're going to be talking about here. How do you make money from your newfound knowledge? So we're going to answer the question, how do you make money as a personality profiling specialist? Whether you're an established consultant or whether you're just getting into consultancy for the very first time. The Profiling Specialist course was originally written for consultants. Consultants are always getting asked about, from their clients, about advice on profiling. Profiling is not new. Many people out there are aware of it. Some have used it to some extent. Some have never used it at all, but they've heard about it. And they've got problems and they're looking for answers. And quite often they will turn to the consultants that they already use for that. So that was why the course was originally written for consultants. However, we have widened that. we expanded the course for a broader audience so that everyone with an interest in psychology and its application in business could benefit. And that is the key thing here, remember, that we are talking about business applications. So you might be a coach, but maybe you just work with one-to-one with individuals, maybe as a career coach or in life coach side of things. Then this partner program probably isn't for you. I say it's not for everyone. I don't intend it to be for everyone. But if you work with businesses, if you work with line managers, then absolutely keep watching. So I say, regardless of whether you're an established consultant or an individual breaking into consultancy, we want to try and answer this question: how do you make money as a personality profiling specialist? Now, I will point out this video, of course, is time sensitive and it just might not be here next time you come back. So I know we're all busy. I know you've got a particularly busy life. I'm pretty sure you do. But I would urge you to watch right to the end, just so you don't miss out what I'm about to show you. I say the video won't be up for very long. So you've learned some valuable knowledge. You know that there are plenty of managers with problems that you can solve. I think this much you must already see from your own experience and what we covered in the course. This much we know. But here's the problem that most consultants face. Persuading managers to pay you for your time can be a tough sell. And anybody who's been a consultant will be sitting there nodding their head right now. And if you're thinking about getting into this part will certainly be of concern to you. Now, I have sold consultancy service for years, long before People Maps came into being and even during my time at People Maps. People Maps been on the go since the year 2000, but 10-15 years prior to that I sold consultancy services for a living. That's what I did. Now, not only do you face all the obstacles that every salesperson faces, you're also trying to sell them something intangible, which is consultancy. Now, so even when you're selling something straightforward that everybody understands and is tangible, something like, say, a car, you still have to overcome what's called natural buyer resistance. You still have to build trust. You still have to go through, take people through that process, that buying process, to get them to a point where they feel comfortable to actually place the order. However, when selling consultancy, it's even more complex because the product itself is intangible. They can't see it, they can't touch it, they can't get their head around it. It's more difficult to quantify, so it's an additional complication. However, I made a breakthrough a number of years ago. And it not only solves this consultant's problem that every consultant actually has, but it also eliminates much of the natural selling resistance too. Now, here's the truth of it. If you've done that course, if you are a consultant, then you know what? Consultants want to spend their time consulting. And you want to solve problems. This is the stuff that interests you. What you don't really want to spend all your time doing is selling. If that was the case, you'd have got a job in sales. So there is a bit of a dilemma here. So what I would like to show you is a method that sees you spend most of your time consulting and very little, if any, of your time actually selling, in what you understand as the traditional approach to selling. So what was this breakthrough? Well, the secret is to make the intangible tangible. There is a word which I have used in the past, tangibilization. I think I made this word up. It probably doesn't exist, but you get the idea. In other words, you turn a service into a product. You see, people, the psychology of this is pretty straightforward. People find it much, much easier to buy a product than a service, especially an unknown service. If you look at yourself, you will also know this to be true. As a buyer, as a customer, you also have this experience. And this is therefore what brings me to the People Maps Partner Program. You see, for years we've been approached by people who, having read the personality report, are generally sort of blown away with it. They go, wow, this is amazing. I couldn't believe that you could tell that about me from those few questions. And therefore they approach us and say, I love this. How can we work together? How can I work for People Maps? How can we do stuff together? So this has been going on for years, and we've always looked at it and thought, I'm not quite sure how we do this properly, you see. The People Apps Partner Program, well, it's the surest, quickest way to actually make money as a personality profiling specialist. Now, as I say, you've already done some training, and if you want, you can take what you've already learned and you can go and make money with that. You can approach people, you can use it. Take that knowledge and use it to the very best of your ability with my full blessing. And I really encourage you to do so. However, if you want to make it a little easier on yourself, you want to save yourself a bit of time and probably make yourself a bit more money, then the partner program is probably the way to go. Everything that I use that gets me sales, you get on the partner program. Everything that I have tried and tested and learned over the last 15 years, and that's a long time that we've been doing this, I will share with you in the partner program training. Essentially, you get to hit the ground running. If there's a mistake to be made, I have made it. If there's something to be tried, I have tried it. I've learned a lot from those mistakes. You don't need to repeat all those mistakes. You can just hit the ground running. Now, I mentioned earlier that I don't spend much time selling. Truth is, I don't think I spend any time selling. And there's things I can do to improve too. Don't believe me, I've got plenty more still to learn and plenty to still improve. But the way I don't spend that much time selling, the way I do this is quite simply to give free reports to prospects. That's it. It's really, really simple. I let the product and the report do most of the heavy lifting for me. I never try and get anyone, any prospect, to eat the whole elephant, as they say. I just try and get them to read their own report for free. Now, this is one of the keys in any sales process. You should always not try and sell the whole thing and get them to eat the whole elephant. You always want to try and get them to just take a small step in the right direction. Take a small step in the direction you want them to move in, which ultimately, of course, is to buy something from you. But the way that I do that is to get them to read their own report for free. Now, this is why, as a partner, you get £200 worth of report stock every month just to give away to prospects. I know how powerful it is when a prospect reads their own report, and 9 times out of 10, in fact probably 95 times out of 100, they will go, wow, that's really impressive, that's amazing, how do you know that about me? And when you get someone to read the report, the impact emotionally, the psychology of that is very powerful. You have probably experienced that if you have read your own report and thought, wow. And therefore, the road thereafter is paved. It's really smooth going thereafter. If they're at all in the market, if they're remotely curious, if they read the report and they find it accurate, which they nearly always do, then pretty much all the pins are lined up and the process of getting them to an order becomes pretty natural, very easy for you, very easy for them. So the question is, do you think you can give reports away for free? That's it. If you can do that, if you can find the right people, and that's probably an important part of it, but I'll help you with all that. I'll tell you exactly who it is you need to talk to. You find the right people and give them a report for free. That's the simple approach. Now, in the partner training, I'll not only show you how to sell it, show you how I sell it. Now, of course, by all means, you might be an experienced salesperson, you might be an experienced consultant, and therefore you'll have your own approach from, hey, I might be telling you how to suck eggs. That's fine, I'm hoping you'll forgive me. But if you're open to it, then I'm more than happy to show you everything that I do that I have tried and tested that I know actually works. I'll also show you and tell you who to approach, who's really likely to buy and who's possibly going to waste your time. You'll discover which are the best markets, the easy markets, the low-lying fruit, where to start and probably where to avoid. Because again, been there, got that t-shirt and the black eye to show for it. The initial training is geared towards seeing you take your first order within 7 days. So in the Profiling Specialist course, we really get into case studies, we looked at problems, we looked at how to solve those problems. The partner program comes at it from a different end. What it really wants to do, now that you know a little of something, it's really about, okay, how do we turn this into money? How do you actually get your first order within 7 days? We can do that. Later we take you and get deeper and deeper into the psychology, but actually you don't need any more psychology than you have right now to solve some basic problems and take some simple orders. So the focus in the partner program initially is how to develop your income as a profiling specialist rather than how to develop your knowledge. There's no point being extremely knowledgeable and wise if you're skint. However, if you can make a little money on this, if you can start making money early on, then you will invest more time, you buy yourself time to get and deepen your knowledge. So I say, you already know enough to solve some simple problems and get paid. So let's do that. Now, do you know everything? Of course not. Nowhere near it. You're only scratched the surface. I've been at this for years and I'm still just learning. Very often I still feel like a beginner, although I've been doing it for 15 years. And that's nice. That's an interesting thing. It keeps the job interesting as well. But the truth is, you don't need to know everything to start earning. That's the critical difference. Over time, we will deepen your knowledge and, of course, your understanding of psychology and its application. But there are plenty of simple problems that you can solve right away and start earning. That's the key. Now, by now you're probably wondering, okay, so right, here talk about earning. How much? What can I earn? What's the potential here? What can I do? Am I going to make any money? Is this part-time or full-time income? What can I expect here? Well, let me try and explain this to you. A single report credit retails at £25 before any discount is applied. A client order can be anything from £25 for a single credit through to £1,000 plus per month for an enterprise license. It's a huge spectrum of order size potential. Now, if you follow what I recommend in the partner training, you should be building up a portfolio of clients that pay by standing order month after month. In other words, they will be enterprise license clients. And what this results in is something pretty rare and pretty special in the world. It's what's called passive, accumulative, and predictable income. What does that boil down to? Well, it pretty much means that you can take a month off and you're still getting paid. It's passive because you sell it once and then month after month you're still earning from it. So you're not having to do something month 2, you did it in month 1, but you're still earning in month 2. It's accumulative because every time you add a client, you should be adding, as long as you don't lose clients, then you should be adding to your income. And it's predictable because most of these should be 12-month rolling contracts, and therefore you're looking at 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, you should be able to say, well, they'll all still be paying me then, so I can predict my income. Now, these are very valuable things when you're looking at building any business, and there's very few businesses can actually do this. The PeopleMaps model has been worked very hard, we've really refined, we've really tried for our own sake and of course for yours to make this model work. Companies already spend over 100 million on personality profiling each year. It's an established market, it's a growing market. As we move into the customer service age, we've kind of moved beyond the information age and we're now moving into the service age. Then people are becoming once again very important. And as the more important that people become within an organisation, the more important the humans are, then the more important and they'll likely rise in personality profiling. It just makes sense. Now, there are a number of reasons that they will buy profiling from you. But if I boil it all down, very simply, what does it come down to? You will simply have a better offer than anybody else. Now, no matter what it is you're selling, no matter what it is you're doing, if you have a better offer, no matter if you're the worst salesperson in the world, and to be honest, I'm not a great salesperson. I really am not a great salesperson. Most of the people out there who are in sales blow my socks off. But even if you're the worst salesperson in the world, when you have a better offer than your competitors, you get the orders. So one of the reasons that you will have a better offer is because as a partner, you get to negotiate the discount, i.e. you get to decide the price. So when you're sitting face to face with a customer, you can actually look them in the eye, you can barter back and forward, and you can say, well, that would be the normal price, and they go, oh, that's too dear, I couldn't afford that. Well, what are you talking about? Well, I could probably go to this. Well, I can maybe go to that. You have that power, you have that autonomy to do that. You can discount up to 50% on the simple pay-as-you-go orders and up to 70% for enterprise licenses. Now, I don't know of any other company, never mind any other profiling company, that gives its partners that level of autonomy. We take this whole partner thing pretty seriously. Now, earlier I mentioned that consultants want to spend their time consulting. You do, I do, we like to. It intrigues us, we enjoy solving the problems. It makes us feel good when we can say, I see your problem, let's try this, solve your problem. That gives us a personal reward, never mind the monetary side of things. Well, another bugbear apart from that is of course admin and chasing payments. And all small businesses hate admin. Pretty much every salesperson or any consultant, they all hate admin. Who likes admin? So we all hate the admin side of things. And of course, chasing payments is a right pain in the neck. Consultants never like to ask clients for money, and you never like to chase them for payment when they haven't paid it on time. Which is why, as a partner, you won't ever need to. And I think this is one of the special things with the partner program. It allows you to focus on being the expert and the specialist without having to be the bad cop who has to say, right, this bill's due, I haven't been paid, I need your money now. And it's really difficult to be both the good cop and the specialist and the person they turn to for help and the bad cop who's chased them for money. But as a partner, you won't need to. PeopleMaps provides a complete online service. Remember this, we are a SaaS, software as a service. We provide a service that people access through their browser. It's not just reports that we sell. You can't just buy reports. You need all the technology and all the other stuff that comes with it is the complete service, including online payments. So the clients pay PeopleMaps online using the PeopleMaps system direct to actually use the service. And they can either use the pay-as-you-go, where they just go on and they order a credit, or they order a bunch of credits at discount, not a problem, or they take out an enterprise license. Again, it's all organised via the system, via the control room online. They need to buy credits to use the service, which means they have to pay the system, not you. And this puts you in a beautiful position. It puts you on the side of the angels because they never have to be that good cop, bad cop compromise. You will never need to raise an invoice or chase payment. And if you've ever been a small business owner, you'll know that those are the most painful things, the most time-consuming things in the world. They're a big fat pain in the neck. Well, as a partner, you don't need to do any of that. The system will take care of all of it. Clients can also pay offline. The system, their control room, will actually give them a pro forma invoice and they can go and arrange a cheque or whatever. We don't take cheques, they just make a bank transfer these days. But they can make an offline payment, so they don't need to just use the online system. So there's no downside to using the system. PeopleMaps collects the money from the clients, offline or online, and then pays you at the end of the month. Or within 3 days when your commission due is over £500. So let's say you go and get a big order today, 3 days time, you'll have your commission. That's how quick we want to work it. If it's small orders and they're accumulating, well, we're not going to just the admin costs alone, but we will square things up at the end of the month. We do believe that fast rewards are important. So if you go get a big order today, you can know that you're going to see your money, within 3 days. That's what we aim for. We want to reward you quickly. Now, finally, let me talk about commission levels. We originally had all sorts of complex spreadsheets. You should have seen it. It was just like an accountant's dream and my nightmare, to be honest. But then I had a thought and thought, well, you know what, for partners, then let's just split it 50-50. That's what partners are, 50-50. Anything more than that isn't quite partners. So that's what we decided to do, and we just do that across the board from day one, from your very first order all the way through. We pay 50% commission on all orders, and that includes all standing orders, all repeat orders, all enterprise license orders. Doesn't matter if it's 3 years next Tuesday. If that account has a transaction, you get your commission, even if you've never spoke to them for 2 years. If they're still buying, you're still earning. Again, I don't know any other provider or supplier in this industry, or probably any other, that operates at that level. That's pretty special. Once our system associates a client account with you, and we'll show you how to do all that in the partner program, it's really, really simple, 50% of all the transactions that go through that account are yours. So let me quickly recap I say I'm taking probably longer here than I need to, but there's stuff here. I've been asked loads and loads of questions. I'm just trying to answer all the questions that I've been asked so far to try and cover as much here so that you go in here with your eyes wide open. You know exactly what we're dealing with here. Recap, £200 worth of demo stock every month to give away. You should never have to buy anything from People Maps. That's not how we want to make money. We only want to make money if you're making money. You get free demo accounts. So if you need accounts, which you will, to show things and do things and set up, not a problem. We just set them up, stick some credits in them, not a problem. You get to negotiate up to 70% discount. Imagine that. Imagine actually able to sit face with the customer. You don't need to come back to me. You don't need to check with me. You don't, okay, I'll go back and say, no, none of that. If they need more discount, if you need more discount to close that deal, get that order, then you can do that up to 70%. Now, obviously, don't discount more than you have to. Don't give it away if you don't need to, but you have that autonomy. Again, this is very rare in the world. You will never come across this in most businesses. Very, very unusual. And of course, that helps you sell a better product at a better price. And I do believe the product is better. I believe it's better than our compatriots, our direct competitors out there, the other big profiling providers. I think you've got something that they don't. We've got lots of features, and I'm not going into them all here. We do things that they simply don't do because we have pioneered. We are the front line of online profiling. All the other providers were paper-based terrestrial systems that get dragged online after we started doing it. So they were forced to move online. But for the first 5 years that we came online, all they ever wrote and talked about was, it can't be done, it shouldn't be done, it can't be done. And then we did it and they went, all right, well, we better do it too. But they're dragging old paper-based systems online, and it's not the same. Ours was online from day one. We have been pioneering the online technology, and our technology is way ahead of what everybody else is doing. You get to spend more time consulting and less time with admin and selling, and that's got to be good no matter who you are. And of course, you get all your training for free. And I don't just mean that the partner training will get you, as I say, there's a crash course, 7 days, get you up and running. But we also have a detailed the psychology of recruitment course, a whole certificate course on that. We include that. If we have it as a course, you get it for free. Anything that we can give you to deepen your knowledge, the licensed practitioner course, which deals with the real nuts and bolts of the psychology and the map and all that sort of stuff, you get all of that for free. If we've got it, you'll get it for free, and we will drip feed that to you at a time that we decide. But within a few weeks, you will have everything, and you get it all for free as part of the partner program. And of course, you get 50% commission. So I say, whether you're an individual looking to break into consultancy, and we really want to help you do that, whether it's part-time or full-time, we don't mind, whatever you feel comfortable with, or you're an experienced consultant, and I know I'm talking to a whole bunch of experienced HR consultants, then this is the right program for you. Especially if you're an established consultant, you've already got clients out there sitting that you could walk out to tomorrow and take orders from. That's literally the situation you're sitting in. They're paying somebody else when they could be paying you, and you could be making good money doing this. So if you've heard enough, just click the button below and let's book your place on the partner program. Grab it while there's still one available. As I said earlier, People Maps has been pioneering online profiling since 2000. 1.5 million assessments have been done today, probably more than that actually now, and we've got 14,500 organisations actually have a business account with People Maps already. We deal with countries not just in the UK, we deal with USA, Canada, South Africa, Spain, where else? Thailand, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. I don't know if there's a country that we haven't had some experience of at some point. All over the place, people have been using People Maps. And honestly, we are actually quite a small company, relatively speaking, but we do seem to punch way above our weight. And with your help, we think we can take this so much further. We're only just beginning. Now, there are some household names that use People Maps, and you'll see some logos floating about on the site and elsewhere. But I say lots and lots of people have used this. You'll see the testimonials as well. I'll try and include a few below, but you probably know us better than anybody by now, so maybe you don't really need all that. And of course, by now you're probably wondering, okay, what is this going to cost? Well, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect that this would cost you over 5,000 a year. Now, I suspect that once we are more established in the partner program, this is the kind of figure that we would be charging partners as a license per year. I imagine this is really where we're kind of heading to. But for now, it's not going to cost you anything like that. See, there's so many managers with so many problems that we can fix, that you can fix. We need people out there in the field solving. That's the priority this now. We have to get people out there making a difference. Simply put, I suppose the market is just too big. We will never even scratch the surface of it, and we're working flat out as it is. So we really do need people like you to actually go out there and join the team and make it happen. Let's go and solve some of those big problems. But the other thing is, I'm really keen to work with enthusiasts. As you know, and can probably tell, I love my subject. This is an area that I discovered 20 odd years ago, and it has fascinated me ever since, and it continues to fascinate me. So when I come across other people who also think this is really interesting and really cool, those are the kind of people I want to hang about with. Those are the kind of people that I actually want to work with. Enthusiasts, I think, is probably the word for it. So again, if you're one of those people, I'm really keen to actually work with you. So if you find psychology as fascinating as I do, then I really want to work with you. So you need to click the button below and let's actually do it together. So for now, as I say, I'm not charging 5,000. That's a way off yet, I think. Maybe another year or so before I get to that stage. Not even 1,000, not even 500 quid. In fact, not even 100 quid. Yes, I know, I'm practically giving this away, but you'll understand why. For a limited period, you can actually grab a place on the partner programme for only £47 per month. That's pretty cheap by anybody's standards. I think I spend that in coffee and Starbucks in a month, to be honest. Now, this doesn't even cover the cost of the demo stock. As I say, I told you before, you get 200 quid's worth of demo stock every month. It certainly doesn't cover the cost of the training. I use this figure right now at this stage purely to keep away time wasters. The time is my most precious commodity. I have very little of it. I have to work pretty long and pretty hard, as do all my team, to keep the PeopleMap system up and running and developing it and expanding it and opening up into new opportunities. So I have to keep time wasters away. I only want to deal with people who are serious, and the money helps sort out the time wasters from the people who are actually serious about doing something. What's more, I'll actually show you everything that you need to know to take your first order within 7 days, and that's my ambitious target. Now, you can take as long as you like. I'm not going to force you. There's nobody breathing down your neck. That's not how we work here. But if you are ambitious and you really need to start earning, then you should be able to pay that 47 out of your first commissions very, very quickly. You should be earning really before your next instalment comes about. That's what I've been working for, and that's what the training is geared up towards to do. Providing, of course, you actually follow the advice that I give in the training. Remember, the £47 per month is all you will need to invest here. Now, I don't know anybody who can actually buy up a business and get up and running and earning for that kind of money. You go and buy a franchise for a plumber, and you'll be looking at thousands and thousands of pounds, So it's a whole different ballgame here. But I say I want to work with some enthusiasts, so that's why we're doing it. Remember, you will never need to buy stock. That's not how we operate. Other systems operate that way, so you've got to actually go and order the stock, and then you've got to invoice for it, and you might not get paid for it, and all that kind of carry on. Well, that's not the issue here. You never buy any stock from us. You never need to get into your pocket. You never need to buy demo stock. I will give you all the demo stock you need to give away for free. I encourage you to do so. So that's pretty much it. You just need to hit the button below and let's get started. You know it makes sense. I think I've tried to answer most of the questions that I've received. If there's anything else, what I would urge you to do is leave comments below. You should also know that there's no contract, there's no catch, there's no tie-in, there's no Bob, what's the downside? It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. And you know what, if you don't like it, if you try it and you think, nah, this isn't for me, you just send me an email and we just cancel and we just part as friends, and that's the end of it. No contract, no tie-in, no stuck with it. And again, I don't know that any other system or any other kind of package like this would do it that way. So, as I say, drop me an email, we'll part as friends, no harm done, it's not a problem. Now, I would say that places are limited. I provide a lot of hands-on support. You've probably experienced that already. Anybody who's asked me a question, I think I've answered it personally for the specialist course, but I get very involved, particularly with the partners. I really need to know that you're doing this properly, and I will help you every step of the way. So I can only take on a small number of people. So if you are interested at all, hit the order button, book your place, because the doors I'm not sure when they're actually closing yet. I think there's a date set in that, but the chances are I'll close it early. If I hit my quota, I have to just close the door because I can only handle so many people. And there's been a lot of interest in this, so chances are we'll probably sell out even before the close deadline is actually reached. So that's pretty much it. All there is to do is to hit the button below and let's get started on your partner training right away. We won't be hanging about, we'll be up and running. The training will start real soon once we get you up and registered and we sort out all the admin stuff. Now, if you already know a few managers, might be ex-employers, might be some friends, might be other people that you've worked with, whatever, or you're a consultant, and of course you've got plenty of people, then you know what, you could be earning within the week. Because go and speak to some friendlies, let them try it out. They'll place a small order at least because it's you. It doesn't need to be that hard. Okay, so you could already be sitting with, and I would encourage you, and we do that in the partner training, but even right now, have a think about, is there an MD you know that you can actually just go to and say, do you recruit? And they go, yeah. Would you like to recruit better? Yeah. Okay, let's try this, try that for free, tell me what you think. And that's the process started. It's as easy as that. It doesn't need to be something big and complicated. Now, you'll find those more complex problems, but it doesn't need to be all of them. Some of them are really, really easy. I did a lovely one last week, dead easy, call centre, yeah, huge license they took. We had a quick call on the phone, easy peasy, they saw the sense, I saw the sense, one phone call, job was done, and effectively they're paying more or less the equivalent of, some people would call a salary. That's the truth of it. Okay, that's us. Thanks for watching. If you do have any questions, I've left the comments facility below. Use the comments facility, even if you just want to comment on what you thought of the specialist course or what you thought of this video. But if you've got any questions as well, I do like to hear from people. I will reply to the comments, but also when you share in the comments, it's public. So it means that even if it's a question you think other people might be wondering about, if you ask it in the comments, then I will answer it, and then everybody will get at least to see the answer. So I would encourage you to go and leave a comment, at least leave a comment and say hello, and tell me if you've enjoyed the course and what you think of things. I say that all the feedback helps me and my team, because my people here work really, really hard. They all work harder than me, I'm sure. And it's really nice when they hear some comments and some feedback from you. So anything you feel you want to say, or even leave a testimonial if you want to say something about, that you've enjoyed it or whatever, then, leave us a few words. Let us know you're here. We always like to hear from people and we like to hear your opinion. And I say I will actually try and deal with the practical issues of answering questions and deal with that. I say if you're terribly shy, you can email me directly. But I say the comments is fine. We're all friends here. Okay, I'm Martin Gibbons. It's been great talking to you. I apologise for taking longer than I intended, but there's a lot to cover, and hopefully I've answered all your questions. Just hit the button. Let's get you booked. Let's secure your place. Let's get things started, and I'll see you on the other side when we start the other training.